you leading yourself into this next chapter? I was trying to do my name's Satiza that this yeah. And I was thinking as I was taking, just shower, just decompressing. I was like, sometimes we don't even realize how we give information sometimes is based off of fear or what someone did wrong or possibly are doing wrong or things of that sort. Right? If we're taking in turn spirituality, it can be don't do this in your dreams, don't set this up in your dreams, don't sleep this way if you don't want to dream about this. And then they give you information about how to dream in ways you want to or this and that. It's like, why start with my flame being lit as starting with fear? Not saying everyone does this, but why is fear the leading factor for information? Sometimes to give information or a ridicule or a shame of the sort. You know what I'm saying? So someone will be like, no, don't do this, don't set this up, or oh, I wouldn't do this, or I wouldn't go there, but I would do this. And then it's like, why doesn't the information start off possibly with protection, with compassion, with love, with a need for understanding, a need for the knowledge, not the fear? And I feel like you guys are recognizing when information is being led by fear, when information is being led by awareness. And you're allowing yourself and you're making others take accountability around you for how they recognize things, interpret things, and distribute information and truth. Bless you, bless you. So it comes with the understanding and knowing that you are now at a point where you are recognizing, like, how is this information being given to me? Because if I feel like I'm not doing what rules you give me next, or I don't set it up a certain way, or I try to avoid it, while I run into it. And so now it's this big thing when it really shouldn't be. So it's like when people move to a certain place because they know that this place open for more opportunities, and people are like, I don't know about that. Why don't you just the local theater? Why don't you just? And it's like, no, 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 no. No, I know this is gonna open the avenue for the true dream I want to create. I know what steps I need to take to get there. I know what pathway I need to do. I know what glide, whatever it is. I know what I need to cultivate and create in my life. So if I'm going to set that up and make that a reality, I can't allow myself to be led by a possible fear, by a possible doubt, by possible shame. Because even if you don't know things, people are like, you don't know that yet? You haven't set that up yet? You don't understand that yet? That ain't common sense to you yet? And it's like, I don't know what I don't know until I don't know that I don't know it. Because sometimes you don't understand or know what you possibly retain until it's time and the information is like, oh, I know about that. That's crazy. So you're recognizing, it's kind of like when people are like, yeah, of course you can give me constructive criticism, but it's different than constructive criticism than belittling and nitpicking and coming at me. It's different. It kind of reminds me of the Sonic movie where they came up with like the first shafts of Sonic, and everybody was like, hell no, hell no, hell no, 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 no. It was like they was even giving them like, take this idea, just take. Why don't you do this instead? And it was like, this is why it wasn't realistic. It wasn't set up like it wasn't this and this and that. It's like, no, 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 please. So that was constructive versus people being like, that bitch can't sing. Can she not sing? Or maybe she can fix the note or the tone that she's in, the key that she's in, or That bitch just can't sing. I give no other opportunities. Like I like the way that you can met at the stage, maybe theater, maybe opera. You're not even like it's just you want to criticize without constructing to amplify or help. You get what I'm saying? You got what I'm saying. So you are recognizing those moments where you are like, am I getting this information from fear? Am I getting this information from confirmation, from clarity, from an expansional growth, allowing that to happen and be in my life? Are these the answers that I was seeking out? Is this information I didn't know that I needed? And not saying people can't present to like, hey, if this happens to you, just be weary. Like I said, being weary and cautious is different than in seed and fear. Completely different. Completely different. I'm siblings are crazy. I'm being reminded of when, like, my oldest sister would catch the spiders around the house. I was terrified of spiders, but I just like, hey, as long as you do your thing, I'll do my thing. Okay, spiders can also be significant. I've been seeing a lot of spider webs, so you can happen too as well. I'm seeing 888, 678 as well. Um, yeah, Ashe, 1010, 12, 13. But it looks like 11, so it's like not 12, 13. It's 11, 1, 1. Life path energy, karma energy, creation energy. Ashe. So thinking about, it's like I already had a caution with spiders. Like I knew that there was a possibility that they can bite, because I've gotten spider bites before. Like if you're going to Minnesota, you dealing with certain shit. Okay, you dealing with certain shit. Okay, um, possibly got spider bites. I seen the spider bites that my siblings and cousins and mom and whatnot had gotten, and I knew the possibilities for possible centipedes and millipedes, and that's why I left on the vents and leave the door open in the bathroom so you don't add extra moisture and all that shit in the air, so that way they come more, and that's what leads to the spiders. So I knew, I was aware of the thing, so I did it. I was able to control my own controllables. So sometimes they did what they did, and siblings do what they do, and you can't catch everything. So when my sister would catch it, I already had this awareness of like, you do your thing, like I'm gonna just go around you. I'm not gonna even try to kill you, because if I get close to you, I don't know how you're gonna react. So I'm just gonna stay away. That's it. So my older sister would catch them and would chase us with it. That enacted a fear. And in some people's mind, it's like, and she would also be like, see, it doesn't hurt. Like, see, like, look, ain't nothing to be afraid of. But she's also like, ah, ah. Like, how you gonna be like, see, there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, you're bigger than it. It's probably more scared of you. Like, you're saying this while also being like, at the same time. And chasing us with it. Like, that's a hard lesson, because now I'm always going to associate, yeah, they may be scared, but they can also, if you're scared and you feel like you're backed into a corner with something that is bringing you, again, you don't know what the fuck it's going to do, what's going to happen, how you're going to act or react, or what it's going to mean. So it can be taught that way, it can be taught a completely different way. And so comes to understand and be like, why would you do that? Like there were so many ways to do that. And then I remember one time she caught a spider egg. Like, how they got little sacks of eggs. Sorry, let me ground myself, because that just brought me mad. Being chased by that, and then accidentally possibly can bust open. And then the only reason it steps in is because your mom realized that if that shit busts open, it's gonna be spiders all over the house. And she's like, get that shit outside. Like, girl, get that shit outside. I get older daughters be going through it, but you ain't gonna put me through it. I don't know if it was kitchen or what or whatever, but I was just that shit that I remember that distinctly. So that can be very simple. But again, it's this, yes, those are very key factors and points, but the way that I thought about those key factors and points of, again, me being bigger, possibly being scared, and the spiders that you see inside of your house are probably born inside of your house, have been there for a lot longer than you have, yada yada. Like I do all these things, but that mean in a way of chasing it, being placed on your pillow, like things like that, like where it's put in places where I'm not expecting, I'm terrified. And I also know what it can do on the other hand, what it is experiencing those things. So is taking in this understanding and this revelation of I don't want to learn things out of fear. Because anytime I think about that thing, I'm not able to really truly expand my knowledge on that thing. So I'm too afraid to look into it, what it's going to do to me, how it's going to affect me, this and that. And not saying you don't need protection. That's why I said, why don't we lead the lesson with protection? And if that's the case, with the sincerity of the situation, with the understanding, with the knowledge, you can adapt and adjust a whole lot more. Like, hey, did you know this? Did you? Because it comes down to an understanding: is this something that I truly fear? Or is this something that I'm taught to fear? Is it something that I'm making up to be afraid of, just to not move? Whether that's deciding to make that somebody really is deciding to make a big move, or it's deciding to make that big move, that big leap, that big jump, like moving states, and just packing up and going border lines, state lines, sea lines, all that. Like yeah, just going quite far and going the distance. Hercules, I can go the distance. I know every mile will be worth my while. Went to almost anywhere to feel like I belong. Yeah, you really, that place is gonna really awaken you. It's almost like gonna be tapping into, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. The thing that drove him. Drink your chlorophyll water. It's a good plant to have, especially if you're spiritual. But when he met with his trainer and he was able to get that understanding, get that growth, and enhance what he already had. And I feel like sometimes, especially depending on how you grew up or how you were raised, a lot of things can be like, oh no, not this, or oh not that, or if you got this, or if you do that, or and it's like it's shutting down something that hasn't even had the capacity to truly be learned or understood. Because it's now only acknowledged and accepted from this one perspective or this understanding. And I still can't treat spiders the same way. I'm just like, keep your distance. I had a situation I couldn't even get to where I want your spiders are just everywhere and they're huge. Like huge. Oh my God. But you can't avoid it. And I know that. And I'm aware of that. And I know the precautions to take to be aware of that just in case it happens, what's going on. Like, okay. And so that allows my nervous system a lot more calm. And I feel like that's what spirit is allowing me to have, is a lot more calm. It keeps bringing up the story with the spider, so that's can be significant where you possibly chase by an animal or something happened with the animal when you were little. As they keep bringing up the story reference and they keep giving me memories of shit happening with spiders and that fear. But I still have this understanding and respect where I don't disturb webs. There's no need or necessary. I know where you are now. I know your pattern. You know my pattern. We're here. That's it. You get what I'm saying? And depending on which corner it is, where it's built in your house, it's also giving you a message and a sign. Hello. Um, but it's this understanding of acknowledging that if I'm recognizing I'm bigger than this and they're possibly scared of me more than I am of it, or they don't understand me, or they recognize my patterns or how I operate to allow themselves to live their life because they also don't want to get killed, it's like then it comes into that understanding. And I feel like you're like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explore it cautiously. I'm going to look into it up into where the knowledge takes me, where the information takes me, where current truth takes me. And not leading out of fear, not leading out of shame, not leading out of any of that. Out of you don't know yet. Ringing in my ear. So, just like that, it's you are going to be recognizing. I feel like this Libra in um, full moon, pink moon change something for you, center something for you, where it allows you to truly see Mm. You guys remember, y'all got some, I love it. I love the spiritual energy. Have y'all ever remember those listen to the music backwards? It's almost like that's how I'm hearing it, like the energy of the person being spoken, because they have me pulling up the black moon. It's almost like think you shadow side, your alter ego, your shadow side, your underwork, where it leads, where you are leading with a desire of knowledge, with a desire of understanding and truth, and not out of fear, being like, how do I avoid it? How do I? But how to coexist with it. Thank you. That's why I have me tell this story and how I coexist with spiders now and how I live and how we work together and like, hey, you don't disturb me, you don't come too close. I had a spider. Why did I get spiders? I'm very significant spirit. I know what you're trying to do. You ain't gotta bring them in to bring them up. Ashe, you know what the fuck I'm saying? Please do not play with me. Okay, but I had a spider. I had a. Oh God! Thank you for the grounding. I was just cooking. This is when I lived in Houston, Texas, and I was just cooking, and I didn't feel a presence on my foot at all. I was just, I don't even remember what I was making, but it's something where I didn't have to move too much. I had everything where I needed it. And I guess I was standing so fucking still. A spider was just sitting on my foot. Don't know for how long. Don't know when it got there. Something just told me, look down. Ooh! Trying not to cry. Just look down. And that little I said, ah! Like, I can't reenact the scream out of fear because I'm not afraid right now. But it was just like, what the fuck? And it just skirted off. It was big. It was, and it's crazy because when I had first moved in, it was a big ass brown spider, and I lived in Houston. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I know this. Hopefully, this ain't nothing dangerous. Literally had to wait until my mom's ex-husband had came, and I was like, you can get that. When they both came to visit me, I said, can you grab that? I've been waiting for somebody to come and grab this. It has not moved. And since I killed it, like the exes it didn't try. I didn't want to even touch it. Like that's how it's like I can't, I cannot, I cannot do not touch it. And so the fact that and that happened probably like 2-3 months down the line after since I had moved in, when that was on me, and I said, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" But then spirit led me down the path of discovery. Like I said, it's leading off from because of knowledge. I always want to know because I know it's for a reason. Spirit does not do that, cross the bounds, unless spirit is like you are not listening to anything. You're not hearing anything. You're not taking in anything. You're not getting a true message. What the fuck are you doing? Especially if you know about Anasi. Well, it's your leg tricksters trick, okay? And that's what I like working with because they're fun. They make me have more fun. It's the truth. That's my business and not yours, Ashe. Ashe. With that being said, done created and cultivated, I was like, what the fuck? And so they led me on a path, and I was watching Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated at the time. Funny, right? Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, discovering, getting down to the truth, unveiling the mask, the shadow work. Now they got me pulling from the Black Moon Lilith, your alter ego, your dark side, your embracing side, your possible shame side, your possible, you get what I'm saying? Spirit is always going to connect the dots when the dots are needed to be connected because they always been there to create a picture that you just need to recognize. You understand it, you got it, it's good. So when we're creating that and we're pushing it in, and I looked into that, and I think it was the Dream Weaver episode, I said, isn't that based off of, because I took an indigenous class in high school. I said, isn't this based off of the spiders being there to give and perceive messages and protection as they went to sleep, and it would also help shamans create rituals and things of that sort. And then also wasn't that for the tricksters to weave the story, and they were able to hold it and create it almost like a basket full of eggs. And so pulling it, I'm like, okay, the dream weaver, and aren't you a dream manipulator? Aren't you a dream? And so they was like, you tap the fuck in. And I think it was probably like 2 or 3 months after that where a random ass light blue fire hydrant popped up out of nowhere. And I mind you, I worked from home at that time. Okay, I had a lake right behind my house. Like the rain was always like, and I'm a homebody, readjust myself. Certain things I was like, there was no construction, there was no sign up, there was nothing. It's a fire hydrant. You have to pull up shit to put shit in. It's a fire hydrant. It has to access water underground, and there was nothing. Nothing was down for days, nothing was down for hours. There was no sign, there was no message. And then boom, I said, oh, we shifted. And so once I recognize that sometimes what I'm so afraid of is my own creation, is my own planting, is my own divination, is my own dharma, it's my own path. Because like I said, we cause this, I know where you are, I know what you're doing. And then to find out that they go off of senses and they can't really see, but they have all these eyes. And I'm like, girl, you also need glasses. You got all these eyes. And then you just kind of start going down the rabbit hole, trying to really, not trying, I say, just affirming yourself like, bitch, bitch, then that, and then that, and then that. And then when you was little, you was like, bitch, a fire, a fire, a fire. And then that's how they knew you was going to get poisoned. All the good shit. You know what's crazy is y'all really definitely are interpreters, possibly such as myself, tarot readers. Like, you just a very spiritual person. It's this energy my mom has told me multiple times that a lot of people have my family. Just who I am, bitch. Can't help it, don't want to help it. I'm gonna keep doing it. But she told me lots of, so moms can be significant because I keep mentioning my mom too. Or older sisters, or just being a sister, familiar ties, family ties and energy, spiritual gifts that are passed down through that lineage, like I said, possibly shamed into it, or I'm hearing overworked your spiritual gifts a little bit to the point where you just wanted to just kind of step away from them altogether as a whole. What did I say about mothers? I said mothers can be significant, and you guys literally got Ashera, which is mother of the gods. And you got Black Moon, Lilith, and Scorpio, sexual alchemy, occult energy, spiritual energy, secrecy energy, shadow work energy, challenging energy, tapping into something that Scorpio energy is also taboo energy, shame energy. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So when we take this into reference, when we take this into understanding, what this means for you, and we're talking about the story of creation, of life, of being. What the fuck is this behind them? Oh, it looks like it almost looks like a teddy bear. So teddy bears can be significant, but it's a puma, I believe. Almost looks like a mountain lion as well. Maybe I'll open a book and see, but she's gorgeous. And it's crazy because if you really look at it, the crown isn't even touching her head, but it's hers. It's like, I don't need to have it sitting on me for myself to be adorned with the authority. And that's why I said you're stepping into this realization of what is truly constructive criticism, what is truly the knowledge that I'm taking in, what is true depth and understanding, where is this leading me? And am I learning things based out of fear to avoid, or am I learning things based out of knowledge to understand? Am I learning things and experiencing things to gain wisdom, to gain that truth, to gain that enlightenment? How am I operating off of my inquisitiveness? How am I operating out of questioning things, challenging myself, my dynamics? How am I doing that? And so, with this energy of being able to coexist with something that you possibly fear, where you realize what it truly does. Because overall, I would rather take spiders over centipedes and millipedes any day, and they eat them. They eat the flies. Keep it away from the evil eye. They may not be able to see what they're able to see beyond. And so that allowed me to see my own connection that I have with that. What I'm able to do. False perceptions that people have placed on me and trying to be like, you know what? Well, let me get it out. And so with this sexual alchemy, you're recognizing the power that you have with that energy to cultivate, to create. Okay, let's get in this. $20. It says Ashera was the ancient divine feminine goddess, mother of the gods, whom the ancients worshipped as the queen of heaven. So when this card shows up, consider matters involving the mother, home, and family tree. Like I said, gifts, spiritual gifts passed down the lineage. How do you learn things? What are you taking on? Where's this fear rooted in? I don't want to eat. Okay. Not everyone has a nurturing and healthy experience with maternal energy in their life. So if this applies to shadows around you that can feel difficult. It says issues of fertility in children can arise. It's time to face what has been hiding beneath the surface. You can also be changing your home. What did I say? Somebody's moving, renovating, or taking part in ancestral healing through a spiritual modality. I'm hearing dancing immediately, especially with this Scorpio energy, sacral chakra energy, this creation energy. I'm just feeling the urge to do something with this energy that I have, and I have to do it. And it's so profound in you, and that's what's leading you now. That's what's allowing you allow your shadow self to, it's gonna not if you spiritual, to survive. Because your shadow self allows you to see what's in the shadow. I always like to say, can nobody use the truth against me? And can nobody know me better than I know myself? So if I know myself better than anyone, that means I'm acquainted with my shadow. Because if I'm acquainted with my shadow, I'm acquainted with my light. I can't have my shadow without my fucking light. I mean, it's just darkness. Not even the void, because in the void you can create, which is in some the moon. It's like it's the black space of knowing that there's things that are being trapped and cultivated in there, so things are coming out. Even down to how dark these clouds look over these robes. It's the shadow. Are those lights? Oh no. I think I don't know what that is. So pound it in there. Whew. Let's do. It says these astral poles were typically used in pagan practices, but were later banned and demonized by the religious patriarchy. They have me skip to that part. You know what's crazy? They also have me go back up. It says she was considered evil, a false god that one should not worship for fear of punishment. Thank you. That's why they also don't want you being rooted in fear. That's why they also don't want you to be leading with fear, because when they lead with fear, they demonize people that are for liberation, that are for truth, that are for activation, that are for communication, that are for divineness. So if you're leading off of fear, you're always going to find a. If you ain't listen to my podcast about correlation, you will always find a pattern for the fear if that's what you're searching for, if that's what you're looking for. I was believing things sometimes when I was searching it like, oh, a spider's going to crawl in my mouth. Oh, why would a spider crawl in my mouth? Think about it. And then when I started searching, it like, yeah, think about it. Why would a spider crawl in my mouth? Why would they do that? And that has happened on such rare occasions that it is not such a thing. Like, what? No, they'll crawl under your sheets for warmth more so than they'll crawl inside of your mouth. So when I found that out, that's when I started doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, I was leading myself with fear, but then I realized I wouldn't be around me, especially since I'm moving so much and they're blind, and then they would have to keep protecting themselves. And like I said, it led down a path of being like, I'm afraid to go to sleep. I'm afraid that if I see one, I know if there's five more coming after me. Like, what? This is not, no. Because apparently, if you kill the one that you can see, you're killing the top one. Because they got caught, they should know your schedule. But it just comes into not demonizing your truth. And like I said, that fertility, that maternal, that family, that home, what matters is that depth and to see that they're behind the tree. Come on now. It says, nurture yourself, heal, and tap into the wisdom of the supreme goddess. Something where I keep pounding my heart. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, where I also was pounding it with this heart chakra, this green energy, where it's opening and activating to realize sometimes you're going to have to heal yourself without the person that hurt you, that you got to heal in the first place from. Oh, that's why it's the mother of God. You have to recognize yourself as a God. Sometimes you have to mother yourself. I'm gonna miss them a little. I'm not funny. And that's funny. They even put it on the number 8. They're funny. That's so cute. It's on the number 8. What did I say? 888 is significant. I love being right. And I feel like you gotta start saying it to yourself too. You gotta be like, I love being right. Because when you are leading yourself down a path of always challenging the knowledge that you have and what you know, and knowing, lead yourself down a path of knowing and acknowledging that. So, yeah. I'm right. You're right. Exactly. It said, this is calling for you to transform and heal your deepest shadow. Dark energy from childhood or ancestral traumas can project into your reality, holding you back from your true authentic self. It can feel like an arduous process, like a dark night of the soul. But on the other end of this journey is self-empowerment, and that is where that fear is coming from. It's because now you're working through this childhood, this CPTSD, possibly this abuse, this trauma, what you're holding on to, how you react to things, how you think about things, what possibly shadow. You possibly got some new information about your family, your lineage, how things have worked and was working, and where you place your mother is where you should be placing yourself, and where you realize that this person is also just a fucking human, and you're swirling around with a lot, and a lot's to be swirling. And so you're like, okay, how am I processing this? And that is tapping back in with your truest sense of self, which is, I don't always need to see, to understand. I don't always need to hear, to gather the tone and the depth of the situation. And so I feel like you're feeling on a deeper, level. It says, it is both challenging and rewarding when integrated, symbolized by the scorpion. Scorpio is a fixed water sign. Okay, it is the opposite of Taurus energy, worth energy, body energy, image energy, what you allow to see yourself as versus what you allow yourself to be perceived as, and in taking that perception. Ashe. Who? Okay, it says it is represents the depth of emotion, secrets, crises, the occult, and sexual power. It is under the Mars energy as well as Pluto energy. Okay? It is about intensity. It says you can also experience trigger warning, sexual trauma, power struggles, or crises, which can create suffering in the present. So, as a result, you may repress difficult events, leading to conflicts and challenges. So this can affect your personal power as you tend to give it away to others when you are not careful. Okay? So, dark divine feminine shadow work. This is if you feel like you need to get in touch with your feminine side. Man, woman, non binary, trans, so forth, have you. Because we're queer over here. Thank you. For your dark feminine, heal your divine feminine sexual magnetism by releasing any shame you have around this primal side of yourself. Incorporating moments for self pleasure, sex magic, and self love can help you navigate it. Right? And if you want to ease your way into it, wearing colors such as red, wearing colors such as black is really good for Scorpio energy. Dancing, tapping into that sacral chakra energy, because it's still a moving energy. Saying your secrets, writing down your secrets. You ain't even gotta tell people. That's not even necessary, but that is also how that can help you as well. And incorporate self-love, because how you can love yourself if you don't know yourself, you're not accepting all parts of yourself. And also just, we all know what self-pleasure is, okay? You can be whatever you think. For the divine masculine, again, man, woman, non-binary, trans, it's the energy of it all. And if you ain't got the energy, I don't want it. You have a deep sense of power, but it's important not to control others with it. Practices like breath work and solitary meditation can help integrate any crises you have experienced in life. Okay? Says it's time to dive into your darkest shadow, tap into your sexual power and magnetism to heal. So what I said, take the card at the top just to show them, it's the sister side. Family again. I was talking about my oldest sister. Knowing your worth in your body and understanding that aspect of how it plays a part, how you see and view yourself. It says Black Moon, Lilith, and Taurus. You are worthy. So if we're taking in this understanding, we're healing that mother wound. We're healing our first body, our first home, how we see ourselves, how we view ourselves, how we view our what we take in knowledge. Is this constructive criticism? Is this real? Is this reality? Are we moving and navigating in a way that is allowing ourselves to expand and grow? Or are we trying to hide in the depth of our ear? No, I'm healing something. And I feel like you have to realize that sometimes it takes time. They always like to say, Scorpio and Taurus is they take their time. A lot of people say Scorpio takes their time when they're trying to figure out revenge, like they can hold a grudge. A lot of people say Taurus is take a long time to kind of get things ready and set in motion, where let them play in their business. But people don't realize that time is their true power for these energies. Because people acknowledge the strength that it holds to captivate a memory so well to recognize why you don't want to associate with that energy in the first place, right? It can be called a grudge, or it can be called like this boundary, this energy. I'm setting it up so strong that the protection, I'm just not going to allow it around me. Some people say to us, take a little time to get rid of it because it's just like, like the bull, a little stubborn. Or is it like I'm taking my time because I'm realizing I was created as long as I needed to. Everything that needed to be me was created in the time span that it needed. I wasn't rushing myself. I took my time in that dark space because I knew I was becoming my own light. So why would I rush to get dressed? Why would I rush to put out this business idea? Why would I rush to get in a relationship? Why would I do that? I know it takes time to get to know myself, and I know it's going to take time for you to get to know me too. And so that's where the mother of God, that's where it's healing, where it's like, it took me even time to get to know my motherfucking people that birthed me into this world. It's something with that time too as well. I think he's right. Let's pull into this and see what we got. You are worthy. Perhaps you are frustrated over not being paid enough for your work, or you have negative self-talk about your body because of external opinions. You may also feel tension around your worth and value in relationships, so now is the time to heal. It says the universe wants you to alchemize the shadow holding you back from true abundance, which is where the self pleasure, the self love, moderation, calling back that power again, that occult energy, that secret energy, that spirit energy, no one knowing you better than yourself and knowing that you are worthy because of that. Ashe. It says Taurus exudes love, beauty, romance, relationships, money, the natural world, values, food, luxury, and abundance. So, when this can cast a shadow, power struggles in these areas can come your life of someone. Power struggles in these areas can come up in the life of someone with this in their natal chart. Okay? It says when you feel unlovable, incorporate positive affirmations as this will raise your frequency to attract the respectful treatment you deserve. That's why I said, is it holding a grudge or is it setting up a boundary so strong that I won't even allow this frequency, this energy in my domain because I know my worth? I'm mothering myself, I'm nurturing myself, I'm healing myself. Starting from bless me, rooted to the tutor. There fucking is. Starting from the rooted to the tutor. That was for somebody. Cause that like I said, I felt it in my heart, and that's why I kept fucking pounding and kept doing this. Kept, that felt good. That release felt amazing from the fucking rooted to the tutor, from the inside out, bitch. So it's dark, divine, feminine shadow work. Mirror work is extremely powerful for healing your self-worth and for empowerment. So in the morning, look in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. For as long as you need, talk to your shadow and integrate it. I always like to say meditation and shadow work is literally having a conversation with self. Because how you going to know what God, a deity, another energy before you even know what your own voice is, your own body is, you know, your own element is. May have been grown in somebody else's body, but you grew into your own. You have always been growing and creating and this pulling into this energy of forces and atoms and all this for yourself. So get to know and understand yourself. So that way you're not always tying yourself back to something. But it also allows you to recognize with these family gifts, this home, this worth of what you're putting out, this security, this abundance is so abundant that you're not just limiting it to that. You're expanding it and how you're expanding it. And why you're expanding it, and why you're pushing it, and why you're questioning it, and why you're questioning it again, and why you're researching it, and looking and reading, and then questioning. Because you know that there is always more and that death cannot be measured. Dark masculine shadow work. You are attracted to opulent energy and beauty, but you can also feel the need to dominate it. Judgment of others' wealth and worth can occur. So, releasing your attachment to wealth is a powerful form of energetic alchemy. And wealth is whatever you self work demon. Because you'll be surprised what people want from and about you and or your life, or just for their lives themselves. Abundance is coming. Believe in your value in order to receive it. I will put the affirmation down below because I did kind of read them not as affirmations, but I will put them down below as affirmations for you. But yeah, this is what you need to recognize yourself, doing shadow work, integrating that, and a lot of healing with your childhood wounds, possible things of why you feel this way, why you think about things this way, why you immediately jump to these conclusions or these ideas or accept things or don't accept things or whatever it is, but that's that shadow work. Shadow work is a lot of questions so that way you can lead and guide yourself with your intuition to get those answers. That's why you also got the mother, that connection of growing inside and with another being while still being yourself and not this person, but with this person. So, you know what they say? They're sisters, not twins. That's coming up with very significant older sister. Just this worth energy. So, yeah. I love this for you guys. This opening, this clarity, this divination. You are. You are worthy. You're tapping into a lot of things, but I love you. Love yourselves more. Again, my name is Latiste. I do readings on here, too, as well as you can book readings down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so the channel can thrive. And I love you. Love yourselves more. Until next time.